Welcome to College Sports Check for Monday, February 1st, 2016, and scores and schedules. First, we'll start with the scores. College basketball scores for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There was some daytime games on Friday, no nighttime games, but we got the scores for you. So here they are as follows. College basketball for Friday: Fairfield defeating Canisius 84-77. Columbia over Dartmouth 77-60. Cornell defeats Harvard 77-65. Milwaukee defeating Green Bay 95-94. Ohio over Kent State 72-61. Iona over Manhattan 70-56. Northern Kentucky defeating Detroit 91-83. Yale over Penn 81-58. Princeton over Brown 83-59. VCU defeating Davidson 79-69. IUPUI defeating Western Illinois 69-67, and Oakland defeating Wright State 89-63. Here are the college basketball scores for Saturday, January 30th, and we got the big list of scores for Saturday as always. So here we go. Oklahoma defeats LSU 77-65. North Carolina over Boston College 89-62, and the big game, Kansas and Kentucky. Kansas winning this one 90-84 over Kentucky. Xavier defeating DePaul 86-65, and West Virginia, the Mountaineers, a victim of a Gator attack. Florida Gators defeating West Virginia 88-71. Florida had to lead the whole game. Some other scores from Saturday: Providence defeating Georgetown 73-69. Virginia over Louisville 63-47. And SMU over Memphis 80-68. North Carolina State over Miami 85-69. Baylor defeating Georgia 83-73. Arizona over Oregon State 80-63. Indiana over Minnesota 74-68. Purdue defeats Nebraska 89-74. San Jose State over the Air Force 75-54. Akron over Ball State 73-64. South Carolina defeating Alabama 78-64. Albany over Hartford 86-60. Southern University over Alcorn 75-64. South Alabama over Appalachian State 73-60. American University over Colgate 54-49. Bucknell defeats the Army 94-66. Western Payee over Southeastern Missouri 86-80. Tennessee Tech over Belmont 89-79. Maine over Binghamton 74-63. Central Michigan over Bowling Green 77-65. Drake over Bradley 80-70. Sacred Heart over Bryant 72-71. Buffalo defeats Toledo 73-68. Marquette over Butler 75-69. Cal State Bakersfield over Utah Valley State 78-74. UC Davis over Cal Poly 66-52. Coastal Carolina over Campbell 97-68. North Carolina Wilmington defeats Charleston 65-55. Florida Atlantic over Charlotte 82-77. Chattanooga over Samford 63-56. UMKC over Chicago State 78-64. Florida State over Clemson 76-65. Illinois Chicago over Cleveland State 72-70. Wyoming defeats Colorado State 83-76. And Columbia defeats Harvard 55-54. Cornell defeats Dartmouth 77-73. Towson over Delaware 101-97. DeCruzne over St. Louis 78-67. Furman over East Tennessee State 74-70. Eastern Illinois over SIUE 60-49. Western Michigan defeating Eastern Michigan 94-86. Ellen over Northeastern 71-67. North Florida over FGCU 82-76. Fairleigh Dickinson over LIU Brooklyn 88-85. Bethune-Cookman over Florida A&M 88-56. Georgia Southern defeating Arkansas State 71-66, and Fordham over UMass 78-72. Gardner-Webb defeats Charleston Southern 68-59. Arkansas Little Rock over Georgia State 63-53. Syracuse over Georgia Tech 60-57. Arkansas Pine Bluff over Grambling 63-59. Hofstra over Drexel 70-64. Houston over East Carolina 97-93, and Morgan State defeats Howard 83-63. Missouri State over Illinois State 84-81. Loyola Chicago over Indiana State 104-96. This is College Sport Check. Here is the rest of the Saturday's scores. Jackson State defeating Mississippi Valley State 77-62. Dayton over LaSalle 59-44. Loyola Maryland over Lafayette 84-77. Abilene Christian defeats Lamar 80-71. Liberty University over Presbyterian 65-61. Long Beach State over Hawaii 78-64. North Carolina Asheville over Longwood 88-74. And San Diego over LMU 77-69. Siena defeats Marist 77-66. New Orleans over McNeese State 76-64. Maryland Eastern Shore over Coppin State 83-81. Michigan over Penn State 79-72. Middle Tennessee over Western Kentucky 66-64. Kansas State defeats Ole Miss 69-64, and Mississippi State defeats Missouri 76-62. Montana defeating Montana State 80-72. Morehead State over Eastern Kentucky 72-67. Tennessee Martin over Murray State 63-59. NJIT defeating Kennesaw State 75-67. Holy Cross over the Navy 87-80. Nevada over Utah State 89-84. UMBC defeats New Hampshire defeats UMBC 84-81. Okay, New Hampshire won in that one. New Mexico over Boise State 88-83. Quinnipiac over Niagara 82-68. Incarnate Word over Nicholls State 68-61. Hampton over Norfolk 86-76. Northern Colorado over North Dakota 71-70. Rice defeats North Texas 95-87, and Idaho State defeats Northern Arizona 88-66. Miami of Ohio defeating Northern Illinois 72-59. Oklahoma State over Auburn 74-63. Old Dominion over Florida International 64-60. Brown over Penn 89-83. BYU defeats Pepperdine 88-77. Idaho over Portland State 56-55. Alabama A&M over Prairie View A&M 83-69. Yale defeating Princeton 79-75. Winthrop over Radford 87-77. St. Francis of Pennsylvania over Robert Morris 90-78. South Carolina State over Delaware State 56-41. South Carolina Upstate defeats Lipscomb 92-91. Eastern Washington over Sacramento State 74-67. St. Joseph's over Rhode Island 64-55. Houston Baptist over Sam Houston State 70-69. San Diego State over UNLV 67-52. Gonzaga over San Francisco 86-48. Santa Clara defeating Portland 90-84. North Carolina A&T over Savannah State 63-62. Seattle over Grand Canyon 59-57. Seton Hall defeats Creighton 75-65. Omaha over South Dakota 96-83. South Dakota State over Denver 67-56. Northwestern State defeats Southeastern Louisiana 91-76. Webb State over South Utah 77-50. St. Francis of Brooklyn defeats Central Connecticut State 60-49. St. Mary over Pacific, 68-65. Monmouth defeating St. Peter's, 73-57. Utah over Stanford, 96-74. Stephen F. Austin over Texas A&M CC, 66-61. Jacksonville over Stetson, 75-60. Stony Brook over Vermont, 72-61. TCU defeats Tennessee, 75-63. Tennessee State defeats Jacksonville State, 78-53. Arkansas defeating Texas Tech, 75-68. Louisiana Monroe defeating Texas State, 72-59. Louisiana Lafayette defeating Texas Arlington, 90-75. Tulsa over Tulane, 62-48. Alabama Birmingham over Marshall, 81-78. UC Riverside over Cal State Fullerton, 81-71. UC Santa Barbara over UC Irvine, 76-60. Mercer over North Carolina Greensboro, 81-67. New Mexico State defeats Texas Pan Americans, 92-68. Southern Miss over UTSA, 86-70. Citadel over VMI, 78-75. Texas over Vanderbilt, 72-58. Wagner over Mount St. Mary, 73-63. USC defeating Washington, 98-88. UCLA defeats Washington State, 83-50. Wofford over West Carolina, 85-66. Valparaiso defeating YSU, 97-68. And those are the scores from Saturday. College basketball scores from Sunday as follows. Iowa defeating Northwestern, 85-71. Villanova over St. John's, 68-53. And St. John's, man, the Red Storm having a rough year this year. Maryland defeats Ohio State, 66-61. Michigan State over Rutgers, 96-62. Wichita State over Evans, 78-65. Oregon over Arizona State, 91-74. Notre Dame defeats Wake Forest, 85-62. Colorado over California, 70-62. Rider over Canisius, 79-68. UConn defeating Central Florida, 67-41. George Washington over Georgia Mason, 76-70. William and Mary over James Madison, 68-62. Boston University defeats Lehigh, 75-73. UPUI over North Dakota State, 73-72. St. Bonaventure over Richmond, 84-68. Northern Iowa over Southern Illinois, 67-58. Temple defeats South Florida, 70-63. Louisiana Tech over UTEP, 78-70. Pittsburgh over Virginia Tech, 90-71. IPFW defeats Western Illinois, 88-67. Wisconsin defeats Illinois, 63-55. Detroit over Wright State, 75-68. Program note, Racing Podcast returns on Thursday, February 18th. Originally scheduled for 7:45. That has been changed. It's still February 18th, but we're going to switch it to 5:25. So 5:25, February 18th, that's 5:25. And the reason being is there's actually a racing event that evening at 7 o'clock. So I got to be available to take notes. So we're going to do the first one on February 18th at 5:25. Okay, and then the week after, we'll be back to 7:45 regular time. So February 18th, return of the Racing Podcast, still February 18th, and the time has changed to 5:25. Just so you know about that. There's actually the Can-Am the Can-Am Dual Race 1 and 2, and Can-Am Duel 1 at 7 o'clock, and race Can-Am Duel number 2 at 9 o'clock. So it falls on the same night that we will be on the air, so we got to switch it to 5:25. But normally it will be 7:45, but this on February 18th it will be at 5:25. And we'll keep up to date on that, and it's going to be RP Full Throttle.